Hi, this is Daniele Parker.
And this is Cristi Parsons, and we are.
The perfectly imperfect Prince. Christy, I left on such a high last week
I did
with
too.
Nate as our guest.
Yeah, he was phenomenal. If y'all did not get to catch that, watch it before you watch this one because we're going to extend our conversation. But Nathaniel was phenomenal. His energy and his passion is contagious.
It is, and I'm so excited. I know, Christy, you've already gone on and pre-ordered your book. He talked about 5 stars coming
I
out in
did.
October. And so I am anxious to get my hands on a copy and to read that. And maybe, Christy, we can have him back to talk about it. So
Yes.
super exciting. But Christy, there was a topic that came up. And obviously, Christy, you and I have always worked on the philosophy that if something's still weighing on you after you've slept on it, maybe you need to bring it back up. And so this was weighing on me and I wanted to bring it back up where we were talking about, I made a comment about administrators. We've got to get out of the office and we need to get out of classrooms. And Nate brought up when he talked about going out in classrooms, he started talking about more formal observations, was what I took that as. Christy?
I did too. Yes. Because he even said this might be controversial, right? And he said, but evaluations really don't change instruction. It doesn't change adult behavior. And he then began talking about how about if we had teachers film themselves and then give themselves feedback. And so, yes, so I loved that idea for an evaluative tool. But I love that you wanted to come back to this because you're right, Daniele. If something's weighing on us, we don't just leave it, we come back to it. So we wanted to clarify today what you and I see as visiting classrooms.
Yeah. And I think good. It goes back to, Christy, a critical conversation education is that we can often use the same terms, but what we might mean behind it might be something different. And you and I have worked really closely together. So you and I are on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
Nate wasn't on the same wavelength as what you and I were thinking when we talked about going out in classrooms. So I would love this opportunity to clarify when I say administrators, we got to get out in classrooms. What do we mean by that, Christy? Because you and I talk about this a lot. And I think our definition or what we talk about going out in classrooms isn't the formal observations because 1,000% agree with Nate. Like it's not the best feedback. It's not the best growing opportunities. It is a lot of the times checking the box to say that we've done it because it's required. But the most beautiful, I think, team building, most great experiences are from the informal walks that happen and just being present. And that doesn't mean taking your laptop into the classroom, doesn't mean taking a clipboard.
Notepad.
Like it's literally just allowing yourself to be present going into classrooms.
So let's clarify that because, and I'm glad actually it happened because you and I assumed that everyone knew what we were talking about.
Yeah. And that happens.
It happens. So I'm actually glad it was brought up because you and I know what we're talking about. So it was really good because we can't assume that our listeners and the people watching us know what we're talking about. So let's do it. Let's talk about it. So August. All right. It's August. This is a time to build relationships and to be visible and to go be inside the classrooms and just check on people. I actually use this time too to see who might be having difficulty with some students or classroom management so that I can get them the support. I remember one of our veteran teachers. Oh my goodness. She was top notch. You could give her any class. Her classroom management was on point. And I remember the second week of school, the beginning of the second week of school, I walked in, I went, and she goes, I know. And I said, what's going on? She goes, Christy, I don't know. I cannot get a handle on this class. And she was not someone who would have ever been on our radar because for years and years and years, the best classroom management, we even used her to mentor people. But in that moment, she needed help with that class. And I wouldn't have known that if I hadn't just been present, walking around, saying hi, checking in, looking at what kids are in the classroom.
And Christy, you also had the relationship and the background knowledge that wasn't normal. Right.
Yeah.
But you had that you had the relationship. You knew historically what you would expect to see walking into that classroom. So when you saw it, you knew that wasn't okay. And she was safe enough to be able to say like, yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Help. Mm-hmm.
Help. And that's so powerful because we truly are a collaborative team. And so going around in August isn't are they on schedule? Are they on the script? To me, it shouldn't be on the script. It shouldn't be like, it should be about checking in and also
So glad
being
you said that. I see that
visible.
all the time in August. These, you weren't on that page during that time. You weren't doing reading during this time when I walked. I see that a lot. So I'm so glad you brought that up, Danielle. This is not a time to check to see that it's a time to build relationships. So talk to me about your August with going into
So,
classrooms.
Christy, first off, if you've worked with Christy or I, classrooms are our happy place. Like classrooms are where we want to spend most of our time. Like, and in August, I love the beginning of the school year. I love just popping into classrooms. One, for kids to get to know who you are, new kids, kids that are returning, especially those kindergartners or pre-K kids who have no idea who you are. They don't even know what side up or down. Like they are just learning just to function in a different room. And so for me, the beginning of the year, August, is truly just checking in with the teachers. Hey, are you okay? Do you need something? Like, going in and checking in on the kids. It's the excitement at the beginning of the new school year, right? Like that's when you get to sit down and hear the great stories and teachers are learning about kids and you get to learn about the kids while you're in there as well. And so for me, August is just truly just checking in on your people and on the kids and are they okay? And Christy, I loved August for kids that were returning that maybe we really worked hard on some maybe behaviors the previous year. Maybe we worked hard on some academics. And I loved going to them and giving them hugs and telling them, I am so glad you are back. I missed you so much. And Christy, we know research shows that an impact on student learning is when they feel like they belong.
Yes.
So if we're the connection to them for the previous year and we get to look at them and say, I'm so glad you are back with us. I missed you. Think about what that means to you as an adult when somebody says that. Imagine
Mhm.
what that's doing to a student when you say that.
So Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? Belonging, top one. So here we are in August helping teachers feel like they have a sense of belonging. We have students feeling a sense of belonging. We're helping to build that culture of we are in this together. We are a family. I'm not a principal just sitting in my office. I'm not a principal just walking around the hallways. I'm not a principal that just I don't know. I'm available. And you said, those the new ones who don't know you, we want them to get to know us. But I will tell you, I have some people that I'll ask them who their principal is, and they're in fourth grade and they've been in that campus 4 years and they don't know their principal. So we have to know that, listen, this is the face. You're the leaders and assistant principals too. Same goes for you guys. Be in those classrooms in August, just getting to know them. Daniela, you said something that made me think about my favorite part is going to sit beside a kid and working with them, right? Joining a group and say, hey, can I just join you guys and start working with them? Took me a while to do the playing with the little ones. I didn't really want to play. I was like, but I got to liking it.
Hey, Christine, I want to say, our listeners, just to get them just know Christine and I. Christine, I love the fact you made a social media post recently that you are now like volunteering in the 3-year-old room.
Yeah,
That is
two,
Christy,
2 year.
the 2-year-old room. Yeah, so that's huge. So when Christy says like she's had to learn that, that is definitely something she has learned to do, but she's learned to embrace it. And I love that
That's
about
right.
you. But Christy, I think also when you're walking classrooms at the beginning of the year, we all know, you know, it, it's been ingrained in us, those of us that have been in education for a long time, that the first 30 days are absolutely critical for setting
Hmm.
expectations, setting those routines. And like you said, Christy, that second week, beginning of second week, you knew immediately a teacher that needed support. Think about our new teachers. Think about, I mean, it's not just our veteran teachers, it's our new teachers.
Yeah.
And we have to be that voice for them sometimes of, okay, we've got to figure out a way to help them because if they do not get this in the first 30 days, this is going to be a very long year for this first year teacher. And so
Hmm.
as an administrator, Christy, I would immediately walk out of those rooms and go to their, mentor or go to an instructional coach and be like, hey, go through and just kind of see what you're seeing. See
Hmm.
if it was just a fluke of what I
Yes.
saw, or are you seeing things too? Because I really want us to figure out how we can help support them so they are successful.
I want to piggyback on what you just said. We have instructional coaches, or some people call them something else, whatever they are, the people on your campus that help teachers. The first 6 weeks, Danielle and I really used this role to help with those situations. So noticing and then providing the support. Don't wait till September. We cannot wait till October and go, oh my, they need help with classroom management. My, they need help with transitions. My, they need help with you. October's too late because the kids, there's habits already formed. We have to use this first 4 to 6 weeks to support, 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 support. And the only way to do that is to be visible so that you can see. I went to a training and I never can remember the name of it. Remember the training we went with our secretaries?
You did it. I did not do that one,
Okay,
but I do know what
something
you're talking
coaching. Anyways, it talks about the leader, the principal has to be the coach. Like if you watch a basketball game, you don't see the coach go and play the game, right? The coach is watching from the sidelines. They're watching every area. Okay, what needs to be where do we need to put the people? Where do we need to make some shifts? They're always looking at the whole field and deciding what do I need to do about this game in this court. They're looking at film, right? And then helping make that decision. So they're not in the game. They're not a player. I think there was only one coach. I can't remember who it is, basketball player that was successful being a coach and a player at the same time. But that's it. Baseball, football. Look at the whole thing. Soccer. The coach is not the player. And that was a big aha for me of quit trying to jump in and be the player and be the person that has that big vision of the whole field.
Right, because you're not going to be the player in the game the whole time. You're handing
No.
it off. You're handing the game off.
You're handing the game off, but you have to know where your players need help.
Yes. And Christy, I think that's absolutely critical is we can't wait till the championship game and the next season to make changes. Like that can't be something we say, well, oh, next year we're going to help her with this or him with this. Like it's now. It's
Now.
now because if like you're 100% right, Chrissy. If you wait till October to try to fix this, it's not going to happen. And I've seen precious teachers that could not get it together in that time, and it was a struggle all year, and you hate it for them. But
Yes.
again, as a team, as a coach, as an assistant coach, if you're an instructional coach, like whatever that is, like if you're in that coaching role, our job is to help support them as much as we can. They're going to have to be the ones to go put it in action.
Yes.
But
And just telling someone to fix it is not going to fix it. Your classroom management is not the best. Fix it.
well, they went in and did the best they could the first time.
That's right. So, and I will tell you, you'll remember this. I walked in and I was like, I don't know what's happening, but I know it's not right, but I don't know how to fix that. I don't know how to help them. Who can we get to help? Remember? And
Oh,
so, yeah,
this is yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
we may have to do a moment of like a clip of like memorable moments. That was one of them because yes,
Yeah.
but
But
we
I
do.
didn't. I didn't know. You know what I did know though? People who could help that teacher.
But Christy, that's powerful because I think sometimes when you are either an instructional coach, an assistant principal, or principal, you feel this pressure that you're supposed to have all the answers. We
Right.
even put that on ourselves. Sometimes like we are our own worst enemy with that. We expect that of ourselves. When the reality is it's okay if you don't know.
Okay.
But
Go
it's not okay
find
to
the
not know
people
and
who
not
do.
find solutions. Right.
Right. Go
It's not
find the
okay
people who do. Yeah.
to
Because
sit there.
someone on your campus or district does know.
Yes, and reach out to them and ask for help or how can we support them? Because everybody wants ultimately when teachers are successful in the classroom, when teachers feel comfortable, then our kids are winning and they're learning and they're going to have a great year too. So, again, Christy, we talk about August class visits. Like this is why it's critical to be in there at the very beginning. And it also establishes trust and relationship that you're going to be present as a leader and you want it to become a habit that when you walk in a classroom, instruction and kids don't freeze because they're
Ooh,
so used to
say that again. Say that again.
you do not want it to become a moment where when you walk in November, everybody freezes. You want it to be so natural that no one misses a beat.
Yeah.
Absolutely critical, Christy.
Mhm. So, new administrators, I know it's tough. You're going to be like, these women have lost their minds. I'm brand new. I've got so much to do. Morning was drop off was terrible. I've got to restructure that. Lunchroom was a disaster. My goodness, I've got to fix that. We have too many people going to the bathroom at the same time. I've got to fix that. How do these ladies think I'm going to be in the classroom?
It's by prioritizing what's important. Instruction is important, Christy. And you and I, and we've talked about in past episodes, the importance of delegating, using your team, using your people. Um, These class visits aren't long. We're not going in here and spending 30 minutes per classroom, maybe 3 to 4 minutes max. These are quick walk check-ins, like just
Mhm.
quick in and out, not
You
having to
could
do anything.
yep, sweep your whole campus in an hour or less.
Absolutely. But Christy, when you do that, you actually are being proactive because you will see things that you wouldn't have known about that you can fix. You can see things that are going well that you wouldn't have noticed if you hadn't been out and about. Sometimes going out and about, people will ask you little questions that really aren't big deals, but they were really stressing them out that you can address right then, or at least by the end of the day, that you can take that worry off their plate. There's so many little tidbits of like greatness that can happen in those class going out in the building and doing those quick class walks that could be big issues later on had you not been out there.
You reminded me of something we did. So, and this came from walking the campus because Daniele said we would get stopped and be asked questions. And there were a lot of managerial questions, questions we didn't even know they had. And so Daniele and I started for I think it was the first 6 weeks of school. It might have been the first month. I can't remember. But we started at the end of the day. We would type up the questions, remember?
Yep.
And we would answer them. And then we'd send that, we would keep that as a running document, Google Doc. We would send it out every day. Just these are the new questions are asked of us as we were on our walks. These are the answers. And then teachers could also type questions on that document and we would go back and answer. So for the first month of school, they knew they had that document and they would go look for the frequently asked questions that were coming up. But we would have never known what to type on that document. And if we hadn't done that, we would have been answering the same question 30 times.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because if one person has that question, more than likely there's two or three more that had the same question. So instead of getting frustrated because you feel like you're being asked the same questions 50 times, you're answering it at once and you're being proactive in that communication. And I think that's so important because, again, when people know what the expectation is, when people know what's happening, their frustration decreases and then they feel more confident walking into their day. And so, Christy, thank you for giving me the chance to talk about a topic that was still weighing on me. And
Anytime, my friend.
thank you for taking the opportunity to listen to me, and give me the opportunity to clarify what did I mean when I said administrators, we have to get out in classrooms. We don't. Yes, we have to get our formal observations done. Yes, we have to do our formal walkthroughs, but also just get out to meet the people.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Get
Yeah.
out and build those relationships. Get out just to talk to people. Find out how things are going. How did their personal child's first day of school go? How
Yeah.
did, like some of those parents are worried about it. I would go and check in on some of my teachers that had maybe it was their child's first day of kindergarten. And I would say, hey, I went and checked on your child and they're doing so good. Whatever was going on, like, or they were so precious in class. Like just knowing that you're still looking out for their personal kids just as much as you're looking out for everybody else's kids. It's just those little things that build your culture and build that relationship.
And Nate would be so proud of us when he listens because this is what his book is about. A service culture, a service heart, a service attitude. And when you talk to me just then to us about going and just talking about personal things, I got little chills down my spine because people just want to know that we care.
And they can tell when you're genuine.
Yes, they can.
Thank
All
you so
right.
much for joining us, listeners.
Yes. So go embrace your imperfections and celebrate your wins.
Until next time.